All right, let's get into some fun challenges. All right, so these JavaScript challenges, I've been doing these for some time now, but they really help lock in what we've been learning, right? So from HTML and CSS and JavaScript, all of the three main languages that work together. And it's a lot of frameworks that are built upon JavaScript, of course. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So let's get to the next one. Okay, so these challenges, of course, they start simple, right? But it's a lot of the simple things that I need to, especially as a beginner, definitely want to lock in, right? But I'm starting to see patterns, right? So it's different patterns that seem to kind of go within every language, really. All right, so let's see here. So we got our main portion here. All right, it can lead to some strange behavior. For example, it's true even though one of the strings and one is a number. Okay. Okay. So now it'll be false. Okay, because okay. So now what we're gonna do is update our done count condition to use a strict equality operator. All right. Fair enough. Okay. And doing these daily, like I mentioned, they really help lock in things, especially a lot of the basics, right? But as you start learning that, it's really, even the hardest things are kind of broken up into basic things, right? Basic building blocks, right? All right, so when done has reached a value of count. Okay, we want to loop. Okay, there's a loop to stop execute. Inside your if statement, assign the boolean false to your I don't even know what this is talking about. Let's see. All right, so inside your if statement, assign the boolean false to your which it was already assigned, which is what I'm trying to continue. Oh, maybe they want to do something. Let's see. Maybe they want to test something. All right, sorry, your if statement should assign false to your console loop variable. What the hell is it talking about? That's crazy. If everybody should assign false to should done is done. What? Assign the boolean value to your. Look at that. The first challenge, I'm stumped. Because that makes no sense. Right? Especially with it already assigned. Am I tripping? Okay. Oh, okay. Alright, so we're inside of this while loop. Damn, I'm like all jacked on there. I don't even know what the hell they talking about. So I guess I'm in the while loop. Okay, so if done is done, but they're saying inside the if body, assign the boolean false to your. I just did that, right? Am I tripping? Continue loop equals false. What? Unless they want to use these three videos. Oh shit. That's crazy. Oh, didn't I already did that, didn't I? That's some crazy stuff. Okay. Could have been a typo, especially knowing. Could have been a typo. That's alright. All right, so let's see here. So to make your pyramid generate again, push the result of calling pad row with done and count as the arguments to the rows array, similar to what you did in the first loop. You know what? Starting these projects, especially that I did them already, it's like now I have to figure out what the hell it's talking about here. Cause especially that messed me up because I already had it assigned up here, right? Which was crazy. So we're still in this while loop here. Push the result of. Am I returning those or what? I have no clue. I have no clue what they're talking about. And we're in the while loop here to make a pyramid generate again. Push the result of calling a pad row, which is this function, right? All right, let's just see. And it says push the result of the pad row. Let me see here. With done and count as the arguments to your row array. Okay, I see what's going on. Alright. So we want to push 2 rows, right? So I could do like, I believe I can do row dot push and then just push that whole deal in here. There we go, I'll do it this way. Okay. With done and count in the. And I should, let's see. They're like, dude, that is not right. Your push loop should call the, push method on your rows. Okay. So put an S, typos. All right, so let's get to the next one. And a lot of this, the main struggle probably for me was kind of figuring out the context of where I left off. But doing that again, just things like that get your mind working. It's kind of like jumping in the gym. Like when you haven't been, the first week or so, it's gonna be a struggle. you're gonna be like shit, all right? So just even a couple days off, having to get back on here. I'm like, oh man. But that's good though, which is actually good. All right, so let's see here. So the strict inequality operator, okay, allows you to check if 2 values are not equal or do not have the same type. Okay, so the syntax is similar to the equality operator. Value not equals 4. Alright. Currently the while loop runs only if continued loop is true. Update the while loop condition to check if done is not equal to the count. Alright. There we go. And no, did I say what I said? Update the while loop condition. Okay, all right. To check if done is not equal to count. All right. So we got what's being. Oh, this is the condition anyway. But Yeah, let's see. Okay, I see. So basically we want a Boolean value. Okay. Done. There it is. There it is. Okay. So doing that, even knowing where to exactly check the code or put the right piece of code in there. So again, this is the condition, while the condition, and then basically the action to execute. Okay. Next, all right. So since you have moved the comparison into the while condition, you could remove the entire if statement. All right. So now we don't need this anymore because it's getting handled here. All right. There it is. Okay. All right, so your loop is no longer relying on the continued loop variable. This makes the variable an unused declaration. Generally, you want to avoid unused declarations to prevent future confusion. So let's remove it completely. And these are really fun. This is kind of like doing crossword puzzles or something, right? Playing chess or something for the day. All right, so let's see. Let's get to the next one. So your pyramid generator is still working. However, it could be possible to end up with an infinite loop again, because you are only checking if done is not equal to the count. All right, so if done were to be larger than the count, your loop would go on forever. Ooh. So update the loop condition to check if done is less than or equal to the count. All right. Or equal to, that's definitely greater than, there we go. All right, so using done to track the number of rows that have been generated is functional, but you can actually clean up the logic a bit. Okay. All right, so the arrays, they have a special length. Let's see here, property that allows you to see how many values or elements are in the array. Okay, so you would use this property using syntax like this. Okay, so these are properties, and that was a question I had too, like properties versus like methods, right? So that's something I was actually just reading on that. All right, so here, so note that row.length in the pad row call. Okay, so this would give you an off by one error because done is incremented before the call. Update the condition to check if row length is less than count. All right, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Rows.length. Your while loop should check if it's less than count. Okay. So not less than equal. All right. All right, let's get to the next one. See if we get to, I'm gonna get past 100. I forgot how many of them are in here, but I definitely want to keep it going. All right, so while, here we go. So replace the done reference in your pad roll call with rows dot length plus 1. Okay. So on the pad row, so we want to change this one out here. There we go. All right, so here we're gonna go rows dot length. That's what it's saying, dude. Let me see. You should pass. Okay. I didn't see it. Okay. I wonder if I could have done plus plus. They want to see it specifically in a way. Okay. All right, now you no longer need the done variable. Okay. Remove the increment operator from the loop and variable declaration for done. Okay. Because it's all getting handled now. That is perfect. That's a nice way to show how to clean up your code, right? It's a million ways to skin a cat, but definitely having it as clean and lean as possible. I'm saying that's the whole point, right? Keeping it nice and clean. All right, so let's see here. That's a very clean and see there, functional loop. Nice work, but there's still more to explore. All right. Use a multi-line comment to comment out the while loop. All right. And then the way I like these tutorials is that it has you kind of going back, right? Doing what you already did. Like starting off kind of and then bringing all of those concepts together. Try it out, okay. Declare the I and assign that to the value count, then use the boolean false for your condition and iteration statement. Okay. So let's do the for loop. And we're gonna initialize, let's see here, and assign it to the value. I believe it'll be like, usually it'll be like, what, like +1 or something? And assign it to the value count. Why don't I just do that? Okay. Here we go. So usually it'll be something like that. You assign and then do the, and I believe the condition is at the end, right? Let me see. That's where I'm gonna start getting online now, because I forgot I see this portion up here. Let me see. which is crazy, right? This has just been from me taking about 2-3 days off. Right, just 2-3 days off. My mind is like, wait a minute, right? And I know here, since we're initializing it to the count, right? Then use the Boolean false for your condition and iteration statement. So here, okay. Yo, that was crazy. This part got me tripped up, and then usually I'm pretty much used to doing commas here for some reason, right? Instead of semicolons. I wonder if it would work too. Probably not. Let's see though. It's like hell no. It's all right. Okay, we had already gone to the next one. All right, so anyway, so because you are going to loop in the opposite direction, your loop needs to run while I is greater than 0. Okay, you can use the greater than operator for this. Okay, set your loop's condition to run when I is greater than 0. So the condition is, I believe this part. No, I think this is the condition. Yeah. So all right. I gotta see what these are called again, right? I know this is initializing basically the I. Let me see here. Cause I'm like, what? What's that, a for loop? All right. So here, your iteration statement. Oh, okay, that's this part. It's also going to be different. Instead of adding 1 to I, with each loop, you need to subtract 1. All right. And what the hell here? Let me see. So basically, equal to count, and we need to subtract 1. Right. So I believe I minus. Nope. Oh, okay. Your for loop should use, okay. Didn't it say the condition though? That's the iteration. Oh, so basically I can't do it that way. So equals R minus 1. Very strict, right? It's telling me, hey, don't do it that way. Which is another thing, like the syntax, man, of different languages, right? You start learning one language and it's the same concepts, right? Same loops, variables, and operators, things like that, but the syntax changes, right? And if you are off on literally one thing, you've messed up your entire code. Which is the beautiful part about using AI, right? So when we're using AI to build tools, it knows all of this stuff, right? But taking the time to learn exactly what's going on helps you really in debugging, right? Or if you need to add extra features to what AI is giving you. So that's when we decided to actually start learning. Definitely been a great thing to learn. And also, if you like this type of content, We also do live build outs in it as well. Be sure to like the stream. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to do these every day. But AI, man, that's why I said, like, literally, I'm going to just pull that up real fast. You pull up Claude will tell you exactly. Same with ChatGPT. Watch this. This is crazy. What programming? I'm gonna ask it 2 questions. But this is when I realized that, man, this is crazy, the power that AI has right now. Look at this. And it knows way more than that. It'll tell you just what it's mostly used for, right? Then it'll start breaking down the frameworks. Look at this. Let's see. Of JavaScript, basically. So you could pretty much build in any of these frameworks, right? Any of these JavaScript frameworks, which is crazy. But this is why learning JavaScript is so important, right? All of these different frameworks, all of the different things and tools and libraries you'll be able to start using, right? I mean, it's all JavaScript, all of it. So if you know those basics, that's when I said I need to learn this stuff. I have to, all right? All right, so again, push the result of calling here, okay, with your I and count variables to your rows array. So open up the console to see the output. Call and pad.row. All right. So are they saying do this inside of the so if I do the pad.row, all right. So rows push, and then inside of here we're gonna call pad row. All right, pad row, and then in pad row, let's see what it's asking for. With your I and count variables in the rows array. Okay. All right, so basically we just pretty much did a function inside of this function. All right. In a sense, right? Basically just using push those from this portion. All right, so that's perfect. Perfect. All right, so just like addition, there are different operators you could use, okay? Subtraction assignment operator subtracts the given value from the current variable value, then assigns the result back to the variable. So replace your iteration statement with the correct statement using the subtraction assignment operator. Okay. So do I need to do it like, that can't be right. That looks so wrong. Did you do a sign back to I? No. Just did that all the way wrong. Replace the iterator. No, that ain't this part. This is the condition. Nah. Alright. So let's see. Let me take this. Let's go see. For a, what's that, a for loop? So it's saying the 1. There we go. Duh. It's when you solve them, it's like, okay, duh. All right. And it's funny how even the basics, man, like the basic stuff seems like god damn, it's a lot. Especially if you look at like full-on programs, man, it's like I get to wonder, I'm like, how the hell is people doing this shit without AI, right? I mean, to be able to write literally thousands and thousands of lines of code, right? I'm talking about some of the programs I've been able to build are literally thousands of lines of code, right? And then you have different files. You have to know exactly how to connect them all. But then the more I dive into it, I start to see the reason why our frameworks are so important, right? Different frameworks. So when you're just going off from HTML and CSS, and then JavaScript, but then you want to do more complex things, more complex operations, and I mean, JavaScript definitely could do it. It's a lot you could do with just JavaScript. Everything is even built in JavaScript. But to make things simpler, there are different frameworks, right? So depending on your needs and things like that, that's the crazy part. But they're all built on JavaScript, right? In some form or fashion. All right, so let's see here. So because you are only subtracting only 1, see, it's going to tell me just do minus. And why it won't let me, okay. What should use the decorator? Now, is that not what I'm doing? And then I did it, right? I'm tripping again. Oh man, I promise I just did that. I'm sure it was my fault. User error. When it all goes wrong, it's always user error, literally. And whether it'll be one letter off, right, or one semicolon off will break your entire code, just crashing, does not operate. All right, so use a multi-line comment. All right, and comment out this loop, okay. That wants to I still do that, Jack. Here we go. And the purpose of doing these is to help when we're debugging, or even as I'm going through and building different things with Claude or ChatGPT. I know what I'm looking at, right? I know exactly what's going on, which to me, for some reason, seems to be a great thing to know, right? Especially if you want to start adding in things, you want to start to fix certain things that come up, right, in your code, right? It doesn't generate perfect code all the time, right? Unless you have perfect prompts. But you might mess up something or want to add something. So that's why it's really important to really learn. I mean, even if it's just a little bit of code, right? Just a little bit of code goes a long way. That's what I started to realize, right? As I started just to learn just from a high level HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? That's how I even got into it, was prompting, right? I just wanted to prompt better. So I started to know exactly what to ask for. And as I started to learn that, I started saying that, damn, I should learn a little bit of JavaScript, or I should learn HTML, see what, to know what I'm looking at. And then now you can start building mobile apps, and I mean, shit, you'll see, we'll be able to start later in the week. I'm gonna be building some different websites or apps, something, right? I try to build a project out to start to really connect all the building blocks of what we've been learning. And I use AI, right? AI will do, I mean, literally all the heavy lifting. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it. All right, so let's take a look here. And if you like this type of comment, definitely be sure to like, subscribe to the channel. We're doing these daily, okay, every day. All right, so you can actually build the inverted pyramid without needing for loop backwards, okay, like you did. To do this, you'll need to learn a couple of new array methods, okay. All right, so we're gonna start by, there we go, let's see here. Sorry, using constant declare a numbers variable. Assign it array with the elements. Okay. Then log the numbers array. So it's going to teach me basically now we're going to learn some methods to run on arrays. So we learned about the push, the pop, right? How you can change what's inside. Now we're going to learn a few more. And doing these daily, like I say, doing these different tasks like this, and they'll get more and more complex. Of course, since we're learning, this is perfect, right? But as you're learning, right, the challenges start to get even more and more complex. And then also you'll start to see that you could build even better things, right? Even if you're using AI 100%, you know what to ask for, right? You know what to prompt, right? Or even what to look for, right? If something isn't right. And that's the whole beauty of it. All right, so use const to declare an unshifted variable. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go const. And assigned it to the results of calling unshift to numbers. Okay. So now we're getting into some different methods here. And pass 5 as the argument, then print unshift. Okay. Unshifted. Did I do 5 in there? Nope. And we're gonna console log unshifted. All right. There we go. All right, let's get on to the next one. And let me see, I may just do all of these. Let me see. Oh, now that, yeah, they just recently archived this lecture. They archived a lot of great lectures, man. Like even next for the front end libraries using React here. I think we're gonna do that pretty soon as well. Let me see. Machine learning with Python. That sounds like that'll be something major. Yeah, so it's a few of these we're gonna do, and then definitely we're gonna do these down here. We want to lock in as much JavaScript stuff. Okay, so we don't have that many. All right, so let's get to the next one here. And they're all free, right? It's all free little lectures, little exercises you could do, right? I kind of use them as mental training on things I've already learned. Cause it's so much, man, right? And AI has made this stuff so simple. Like you can literally build things. You don't need to know any of this, honestly, right? Like my first website I decided to build with AI, I didn't understand what I was doing. It literally just made the whole page. I said, wait a minute, man. And then I started wanting to change certain things, right? Or I wanted to look a certain way, and I had to start seeing. I started seeing I needed to learn this stuff. Right? And it was fun, right? So it's been fun learning this, man. And I've just made it a routine basically to try to learn something, to do some kind of coding in some way every single day, right? And if you like these type of things, if you like content like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do these lives daily. All right, so here we go. Let's see here. So directly here below the numbers array, which is I'm sure where we are here. Alright, on the next line, log the shifted variable to the console. Alright, so now let's go ahead and make another. We're going to call this shifted. And we're going to assign that to numbers.shift. Is that right? You ever look at something and be like, is that right or wrong? On the next line, log the shifted variable to the console. Okay. It didn't say they put any parameter arguments in there. And assign it to the. All right. Okay, let's see how it looks though. So shifted came out as 1. All right. Unshifted 5 printed 3. Now what the hell? Okay. Look at that. Okay. And then now I'm logging the numbers. So basically it's actually, and how is numbers changing, right? I guess these are changing it. So it's changing completely, right? Because we could see that. Damn. There we go. Yeah, so it's actually modifying this. Let's see if I do it this way. So if I take this out, that's shifted. Oh, I would have to take this out maybe. Yeah. Well, don't worry about that. That's a mind fart there. let's get to the next one. And like I said, we do these daily, right? Try to do something, learning some type of code, right? Implementing something new every single day. So now that we've tried these methods, so we did the shift and the unshift method. Shift and unshift. Okay. Alright, now that you have tried these methods, you could do another inverted pyramid approach. Okay. But first you need to clean up the experimentation here. Remove your numbers array and the method calls and logging calls. I'll just get rid of all that basically. Alright, so sometimes you may wish to bring back previous code that you have commented out. Alright, now you could do that by removing those different deals there. Okay. I'll comment only your first for loop. Okay. Alright. So what is it gonna have us to build now? Let's see. Let's see. So these basically just, in a sense, kind of data manipulation, right? It's kind of helping you manipulate data, however you want to say it, but it's helping you rearrange things. Right, so you're learning the for loops and these different methods that we could run on our array. All right, so let's see here. All right, we did that. Let's get to the next portion. And then tomorrow, I'm thinking I'm gonna probably stream building something. All right, I'm gonna see what kind of website. I actually just bought some new hosting and things, and I need to actually start putting things up there. Right. So I want to find a project, some kind of SaaS of some sort that I could set up. Right. And we could start building out everything. Right. Start getting AI to help us there. All right. So your pyramid is no longer inverted. This is because you are adding new rows to the end of the array. All right, update your loop body to add new rows to the beginning of the array. Didn't it just say I'm already doing that? Because you are adding new rows to the end. All right, now how the hell would I do that? That's the crazy thing. So we want to add them to the end and not the beginning. How the hell would I add something to the end? Well, let's use our handy dandy AI. All right. Because these are the things I literally use when I'm on building mode, right? when I'm building things, I'm just going, right? And then I'm using AI to build out things, right? Because AI knows these different things. All right, so it's already telling me exactly how I need to do it. All right. So I need to change the push to unshift. Exactly. I knew it was unshift somewhere in there. I knew it was going to start using unshift. All right. All right, so I'm going to just change this here. Unshift. Rows dot unshift. So push is adding it to the, what did it say, to the end? I needed to add it to the beginning. Huh. Okay. And then unshift. All right. That's crazy. I need to know, something else that helps me as far as coding is doing this stuff in a practical sense, like, cause I'm thinking like I understand these important concepts or methods, but when am I ever gonna be? When am I gonna be building upside down triangles, man? Like. But I understand that. So that was basically ray modification. But still. Alright. I didn't know that. Why would they have it unshift is an adding thing? I mean, so push adds elements to the end of the array. Unshift adds elements to the beginning of the array, which is why the 5. Okay, that makes sense. And you know what? I'm gonna just wrap it up here. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Tomorrow I'm gonna be building something, right? So if you like these videos, these are just definitely going through different challenges. But if you like these videos, I'm gonna be using AI to build a different SaaS starting tomorrow. All right. But you can stay tuned. Definitely be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in the next video. Be blessed.